Hey, welcome to Dave's Man Cave. So, for all my watch aficionados, the people that watch these videos, going down to the Caribbean, going to some cool places like St. Kitts, St. Martin, St. Thomas, Nassau, and stuff like that. And the ship we're going to be on is one of the mega ships, and they've got Rolex and all kinds of fun stuff on there. So, I've, I've set a budget for myself, kind of artificially. I want to shoot for something. I'll see, what could I get for less than 3 grand? And I came up with a list of watches. If anybody's got any of these watches or has had these watches, is intimately aware of these watches, give me some feedback on these choices. Let me know if there's any of these 6 that I should steer clear of, and if there's other ones I should consider. My budget is around $3,000, but I did squirrel away like 8 grand in cash out of my last check. So if I decide, hey, I really do like the Rolex, if they'll decide that I'm worthy to spend my money with them, and they'll give me an Oyster Perpetual or something in a cool dial color, or I don't know, maybe a Tudor Black Bay chronograph or something like that, I will spend. If I see something I really have to have in my collection, I'll spend more. But I'm actually shooting in the 3, maybe 4-ish range. So here's what I've come up with. The Master Series from Longines. They got a couple cool colors. I really like the green. The only other green watch I have is a Movado Museum Classic. I'd like another high-end watch in another green watch, but a higher-end watch, not a mid-range, or fashion watch. So I'm definitely thinking about this, but I've got some Longines. I've had a Conquest. I've got a Hydro Conquest. I've never tried any of these, and I haven't had a Longines automatic. The ones I've had so far have been quartz. I know that they're really good watches. They're part of the Swatch Group. Their pricing gets up almost close to Omega. So I know they're definitely good watches, but I've never had this one. If you have experience, let me know. Another one I came up with, and probably the one I'm going to lean towards, maybe not with that blue dial. Maybe I'll get it with a different color or the bracelet or something. These go from close to 3 up to like 4,400. They can go higher if you want a chronograph. The $4,300 ones use the new Baumatic, which is their in-house movement that has a 5-day power reserve. I don't know if that's worth an extra, almost 2 grand or extra $1,500. You can get them in 41 and 42 mil. Just something different. History of this watch. It looks like a Royal Oak. It's not an homage. It's not a copy. This watch is from 1973. It came out mere months after the AP Royal Oak. They had both been in development for years. It's not like you see the competition come out with a watch and then 6 months later you've got one. They were both working on competing designs for years. With the integrated sport bracelet, that sort of octagonal shape, the screws. They both just happen to have a similar design, and AP just beat them to the punch. The difference is the AP, if you can find one, those start at 30,000. These start at 3 and go up from there. So way more attainable for us mere mortals who don't have or would never go and spend $30,000 on a single watch. But I just really like it. It's different. It's interesting. It's a good conversation piece because it is a luxury watch, but it is a bit off the beaten path. Most of the time people will say, I've got this much money to spend on a watch. They go for the obvious choice. They go for the Rolex. They go for the Omega. They go for the Tudor. And so that has its appeal. It is a bit cheaper, although I could spend more money on them if I wanted to get one of the higher end movements. But I don't know. It's just a really interesting piece. And you don't see people walking around with them a lot. So like my Cuervo y Sobrinos, which costs more than double that, it's interesting because it's just a different watch. And most people don't know what it is and they want to know about it and talk about it. Of course, Longines, I've got a Hydro Conquest now, but it's a black dial and it's a 44. It's a bit big. I did make it a little lighter by putting on a Bond NATO strap, but I wouldn't mind one of these. Maybe not necessarily in that green. They've got some really cool colors for this year in 42 mil and an automatic that just ups the game. You can pick those up from 2 to mid 2s. So, but I've already got one. And I have other dive watches. So I wouldn't say this is at the top of my list. It's just one that I'm considering. But if you've had an automatic version, how accurate was it? How often do you got to get it serviced? Let me know your thoughts on that. Now, if I decide to go with a Black Bay, that's one thing. But if I decided to keep it down around the 3 grand budget, you could pick these up for mid 2s. So again, it's not like $2,500 is cheap by watch standards, but it's not expensive either in the grand scheme of things. It's very attainable. It's a Tudor, which is owned by Rolex. It's an automatic 42 mil, very classic. Go everywhere, do everything. If you wanted to get an Oyster Perpetual, but you didn't want to spend $7,100 and you didn't want to have to play the AD game with the authorized dealer to get them to convince you that you're worthy and get put on a waiting list and have to buy shit you don't want in order to buy that 2 years from now. If you don't want to deal with all that crap, then I think this is a good option. If I'm wrong, tell me. If there's something else I should consider. I know there's the Aquaterra, but that's up at Rolex money. Those are up over $7,000 for the ones that would interest me. So would I get one of the more expensive ones? If I see it in person and I'm just like fall in love with it, yeah, but I'm going to try to adult and not spend all the money on a single watch. So we'll see if I'm successful or not. But that's the 1926 by Tudor. They got a couple different dials, but something about that just really kind of spoke to me. And then there's Doxa. Doxa's a cool company. They've got some neat designs. I like that color. They've got an orange. They've got a yellow, just something different that I don't have in my collection yet. But it's a well-respected Swiss brand. They were kind of at the forefront of like true dive watches, tool watches. Jacques Cousteau used to wear Doxa, actually worked with Doxa to create the watch that he would want to wear on his deep sea explorations. And that was the brand that he chose and worked with. May have had others over his lifetime, but the one that he's kind of famous for wearing and is famous for having him worn it is the Doxa. They've got watches all the way up to like 500, 600 meter, or might even have 1,000 meter, like crazy depths you'd never go. But just know that that's a watch that you could beat the ever-loving crap out of and not have to really worry about any water getting in there. Really interesting. I like the rice. I think they call it. It's not a jubilee. It's kind of like rice pellets or grains of rice on the bracelet. I think it looks pretty cool. And here's another one. Now these I could pick up anywhere. I don't have to go to the islands to get that. But if I wanted a Daytona and didn't want to spend $30,000 in waiting years to get one, there is the Tudor, which I'm going to look at, and if I have it and I can get them to come down on the price a little, I may go with the Tudor Black Bay chronograph, but that's going to be a $7,000 watch. I know you can get them cheaper on Joma Shop, but for this kind of money, I want to get it and make sure I got the warranty and it's legit and new and all that stuff. But for like $2,500, you can get a Hamilton. This is 41 or 42 mil automatic, really nice movement, beautiful watch, not cheap. Obviously, at $2,500 or $2,400, whatever it is, it's a decent expenditure. But if you want Daytona-ish vibes, but you don't want to, go crazy with the price, Longines also has a Hydro Conquest chronograph that looks a lot like a Daytona. And it's really, it's fantastic, but it's double the price of that. You're looking at close to $4,700, which again, it's in the running. It's just, what's the best watch? If I wanted to, not cheap out, but if I wanted to say, look, I'm just going to be an adult and not spend a shit ton of money on watches, what could I get for $3,000? Of the ones that interest me, these are the ones that came up. So my question to the watch community and the hive mind, whoever's watching these videos, what other watches that are of this type? I think at this point you've got a fairly good idea of what type of watch I may be looking for. There's some Gata watches that are kind of sport watches, but you could wear dressy. There's dive style watches. We've got sport chronographs. We've got a dive watch in there. We've got something that's just really friggin' cool and different and has a nice, cool, interesting history. And I just love the design language. I'm actually not even opposed to that rubber strap that it's got, but I do like the steel bracelets too. That was just the picture I grabbed. And then the Longines, again, if you like Oyster Perpetuals and you like that sort of vibe, kind of like the Tudor 1926, Longines Master Series has got you covered. And they got a couple cool dials, but that one I think is really kind of nice and striking without being flashy and kind of over the top, maybe the way that one is. Although it's a fun tropical looking dive watch. I think it goes with that design. But what do you think of these? Are there any in here where you're like, just dude, totally not worth the money for that watch? You can get the better, here's what you should get instead for that kind of money, or just a little more or whatever. Let me know your thoughts. Throw them in the comments. Let me know if there's anything else. Because down there, I got Rolex, Breitling, Tudor, Hublot, and then at Royal Caribbean, which isn't affiliated with the cruise ship, and Little Switzerland, probably about any Swiss luxury brand you can imagine, just between those two stores alone. St. Thomas is really good for watch shopping. So let me know what else I should consider. There is an Omega that I like. I like the Aquaterra. I like the Speed Timer or the Speedmaster. I like the Speedmaster. Their Aqua, or they've got a dive watch. I forget the name of it. But Aqua Racer? No, Aqua Racer is Tag Heuer, which is another one that I do like and is in the running. There's a green and black GMT 300-meter professional dive watch. While being a GMT, that's really kind of cool. Those are about $4,400. I don't know. I might consider that. I'd have to take a look at it in person, see if it's worth it. But let me know what you think. I'm going watch shopping. I've got some ideas, but I want to make sure that if I'm going to spend that kind of money, I don't buy the first one I see. If there's something on here, I'd hate to buy one of these, and then I go, someone goes, yeah, you should have checked out this one, this other brand, or this other model that I wasn't even on my radar. But seeing what I'm looking for here, tell me if anything's missing that should be on this list. If there's one of these that's on the list that shouldn't, give me your opinion. Throw it out there. Let's talk.